Dricus du Plessis is ready for Khamzat Chimaev. Now, Dricus says, we need to fix some things, obviously, and I spent time doing that. Like I said, I'll be ready to fight in April. I'd love to be on the April card, the Miami card. There's no opponent yet, but I'm ready to go again and get my belt back. Of course, I'd love it to be Khamzat and redeem that loss for right now. The next fight is the most important fight of my life. All right. It's not often that Dricus misses. This is a bomb. I don't know if they caught him off guard. I don't really know what happened here. Like Dricus has been oddly quiet. And I know people in the world of MMA and media, and they're dying to get an interview with Dricus. So why he chose to do this one, I don't really know. I took a speaking class, and there was a couple of things from that class. This is way back. This is 20 years ago. But I remember those couple of things. As I'm reading Dricus's here, right, there's some misses. Listen, if you ever find yourself saying, obviously, stop. There is nothing obvious. If you say, I would like to fight Chimaev, you do not say, obviously, I would like to fight Chimaev. What is obvious about that? You fought him for 25 minutes and it looked like a really miserable experience. I mean, if you want to operate in the world of obviously, it would appear that the one guy that you don't want to fight would be Chimaev. So it's not obvious. And if you ever find yourself saying, like I said, nobody knows what you said. As much, and I have narcissistic qualities too, believe me, I recognize these, but as much as you want to believe that you did an interview and therefore people know, you don't need, go ahead and just repeat yourself. There was a reason on Monday night when The Rock said, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, he did not say, like I've said before, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. Like I said last Monday, if you smell what you just say the line. And I'm only sharing that because in no alternative universe is DDP going to get in there with Chimaev. I mean, like in no universe. Lay it out as crazy as you want. Title fight, Saturday. Chimaev's in the main event. Chimaev's opponent falls out. The venue, coincidentally, is 10 minutes from Dricus's house, and Dricus volunteers. And if Dricus doesn't do it, then nobody will do it. He still doesn't get that call. There is no scenario where Dricus fights Chimaev next. So now you've got an interview with a guy that people have really wanted to interview with, who, by the way, has shown in his life a pretty good ability to steer his own ship. I mean, I will always admire the story, and I will always teach the story of Dricus. When he's going to be put on an undercard, he speaks up to his very meager following on Twitter because a newcomer at the same weight class named Bo Nickal got a main card status, and it's going to be Bo's UFC debut. And Dricus is going, it's not my debut. I've been here. I've done it. He can't have a bigger place than me. And before you know it, he's on the main card, which he parlays into a co-main event spot, which parlayed him into a world title opportunity, of which he won. Like, the Dricus story is really great. And like most guys, the moment you get that power, right, you forget the seat that you were once in. It is very common. Most guys that are living on scraps and they're struggling and they're trying to get somewhere, the moment they get there will not provide that same opportunity for somebody else. The very opportunity that they're on their knees and they're praying, why won't somebody not give me a chance? Once they can give the chance, they very seldomly do. And I'm not sharing for you that that's Dricus. He hasn't been offered a fight. Like, Dricus hasn't done that. I'm not pinning that on him. But within this same interview, Dricus talked about how cool it was that Adesanya is given an opportunity to fight for, of which is really cool, and it is really dangerous. And that is a massive, tomorrow's stars with today's star, like, it's a massive opportunity for Pfeiffer. And DDP touched on it, but DDP is going to find himself in a very similar spot unless he control that. Like, Adesanya is not fighting Pfeiffer just because, right? I apologize, I misworded it. Adesanya is largely fighting Joe Pfeiffer just because. Adesanya did not come out to the media with an opponent. He did not put his finger in somebody's chest. So eventually they sit down in the wardroom and they see who contract is up and they go, that's a good idea, let's call these guys. And all of a sudden you got first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion, the greatest middleweight of all time. And he's going to take on a very dangerous, up-and-coming, less of a celebrity in Joe Pfeiffer. And that's the way that this game is played. But Dricus very much, unless he finds an opponent, he calls for that guy. Like, as a former world champion, we're going to respect that. We're going to want Dricus to get what he wants. The same as when he called for the Bo Nickal thing that parlayed him into Whittaker, which parlayed him into Strickland. Like, we wanted him to get what he wanted. We want people to get what they want, but we have to know what in the hell it is that they want. There was nothing obvious about him wanting to fight Chimaev. And if you come out and you say, like I said, this might sound small, but communication is huge. If you want to talk about martial arts, let me just leave you at the last word with art. Art is a form of expression. There is no better way to communicate and to express yourself than to speak. Words matter. DDP, who I'm a fan of, DDP, who I'm looking forward to his next fight, DDP, who I've been looking forward to an interview and resurfacing, which he hasn't done it lately, just completely wasted his time. The only thing obvious about him and Chimaev is that obviously they're not going to make that fight. And obviously you're now a contender. And obviously you need to work your way back. What's unobvious is who strategically is your plan to do it against. And if you don't have an idea, believe me, they're going to come up with one for you. And when they do, you're not going to like that idea as much as if it would have been your own.